And Town Talk today, we are fortunate to have Kingston Town Planner Thomas Bott here with us in lieu of Mr. Fennessy, who's a little under the weather today.
And I just want to point out for the record, there has been no coup.
Right.
This is not like Brezhnev having a cold way back when, for those members who remember.
You're really here because he's out sick.
I'm happy to help.
But we're happy to have you.
Thank
Town
you.
planner is a little bit different than town manager. So today we're going to talk about town meeting, what's on the warrants, 40B, zoning, Airbnbs. Take it away.
All right. Well, town meeting is in May,
Okay.
which is why we're talking about it in February.
All right.
Because the warrant for town meeting closes at the end of this week. And
Okay.
the warrant is the list of all the things you put on the list of things to talk about at town meeting.
Right.
So from our perspective, from the planning's perspective, we've got a couple of articles that the planning board is introducing to town meeting.
Okay.
Amongst those is inclusionary housing bylaw. We have a bylaw that says if 10% of your housing that you build should be affordable. So we are tweaking that bylaw. It's got a little vagaries we discovered with a recent development we did was rental.
Okay.
So we're tweaking that bylaw a little
Okay.
bit to make it a little clearer. Also on when I was talking about rentals, short-term rentals.
Which is?
like Airbnbs, vacation by owner.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. Like they're not regulated, they're not taxed. You fill us in on how that happens.
All the above.
Okay.
It's the sharing economy, like
Yep.
Lyft and Uber and things like that. So these folks have a low threshold.
Right.
You sign up on the internet, you get to rent your house out.
Right.
We had some complaints about one particular Airbnb in a very small neighborhood, small lots. So we are in the midst of permitting that first Airbnb short-term rental.
Okay.
And we're looking at including in the bylaw because we really don't have a mechanism for that.
Okay.
It's new.
Yeah, so we need to set some standards.
Yeah, bylaws, government, we're not as nimble as the internet.
Okay.
So we're looking to catch up with that with some regulations for short-term rentals.
Okay.
In the districts where housing typically is, in the R20, R40, R80, downtown center,
Yep.
3 design district, all the places where housing is mixed in
Okay.
with commercial. So
All right.
we're looking at tweaking or creating a bylaw for short-term rentals. Last fall at town meeting, we had the mixed commercial district that the Saxon Partners brought up.
Right.
This is for the 100 acres behind the Walmart in Plymouth, which is actually in Kingston.
Kingston, right,
That property is
right.
cut off from Kingston by Route 44. So they had a proposal to create a mixed commercial zoning district there. It was tabled at town meeting. That's coming back in the
Okay.
spring. We actually have a meeting with Saxon, with the planning board, a conceptual meeting at our next planning board meeting on February 13th.
So is there a plan already in place for what's going to go on that property?
They've proposed zoning. There's no plan.
Okay,
They
just
have, they have a sort of a schematic plan that says we envision we could get this on the ground.
Now, when you
acres
say
of-
mixed, does that mean commercial and residential?
Not residential.
Okay.
They started off early on with a list, basically, of all the things you could do
Okay.
in the town.
Okay.
And came to the planning board, came to the selectmen, talked about those concerns, and the selectmen and the planning board both didn't want residential on the site.
Okay.
Because it's a very long way to get to a school.
Oh,
You've got to
that makes sense,
leave
yep.
Kingston, come into Plymouth, come back into Kingston. The
Oh.
schools are all a very long way away from there. It's a long
Sure.
school bus
Well,
ride.
that makes sense. All
So there's always a concern about the fiscal impact of residential. In this case, it was just going to be a very long bus ride.
Yeah.
For somebody for that. So when
That's
they say a
common
mix,
sense, really. You don't want to go out of your town to come back into your town to get your kids to school. Yeah.
but there are places where you have to do that.
Yes,
I
right.
don't know what the folks in Saquesh do with their kids when they have to get to
But
school.
if you don't have to, you shouldn't.
You should.
Okay.
So we're looking at bringing that back, and the mixed part is there would be offices, potentially be warehouse.
Yep.
Not really much of a retail component because there's so much retail on the current Colony Place.
Right.
It's more of office, commercial.
Okay.
Maybe hotels,
Okay.
restaurants, things like that.
Now, you have street acceptances going before town meeting, too?
We do have street acceptances. One of those has been in the works for a while, Marion and Galen Road, which are owned by the MBTA.
Oh, okay.
They've been trying to give them back to the town for a while. They don't do a very good job of plowing them. We get
Okay.
a lot of complaints about them. The highway superintendent, Paul Basler, and I have been working with them for a couple years on the physical things they need to fix up on the streets.
Yep.
Now it's about taking care of the legal side of things, all these descriptions and easements and plans that come with that. So Marion and Galen were taken by the eminent domain.
Okay.
As I've explained to them, tongue in cheek a couple times before, you can take them by eminent domain, but you can't give them back that way.
Okay.
For us
right.
to accept them, they have to be at a certain standard.
Yep.
You have to fulfill the obligations for us to understand what we're accepting.
Okay, and unfortunately, we are out of time.
Very nice.
You just talk, you give us so much stuff and you just go on and on about the subjects, and thank you. That was very informative. So town meeting in May, lots to do, lots to think about.
Lots to do. Hearings for zoning and street acceptance is starting in March.
Okay, great.
All right?
Thank you.
Nice
We'll
to
have
see
you
Julie.
again.
Thank you much.
Okay.